Hello and welcome back, my fairies. I'm Matsuyorific, and I'm joined by my good friend Dem.
Hello.
We are back with more art for Thoughtful Thursdays, and I am very happy to be having Thoughtful Thursdays today. Not feeling the best today. So I'm
in your throat, or what is it?
Like, full on just not feeling good today.
Ah, okay.
Alright, and with all these details, it can be a little bit tricky doing shading, so I have a cheat method though. Hello, Lucky Pitbull, welcome. Yeah, I even left work earlier than normal today. I had no patience whatsoever for the nonsense that people were throwing my way today.
That's very understandable.
It's like I had this one lady who was like just constantly interrupting, and it's like, lady, you would know the stuff that you keep getting confused about if you would let me explain it. I'm gonna try not to go too much on, it's like, that's fine. Okay. Hello, Nixie. Welcome.
Hello.
And I've seen you started playing Persona 3, Nixie. When do I think I'll do YouTube full-time? When I start making more from YouTube than I do at work. When I'm able to actually pay the bills off of YouTube. Because believe it or not, don't make that much. But that is definitely the goal, though. Right now I'm just doing guidelines to see exactly where shadows are supposed to go. Yeah, Nixie, feel free to go ahead and put a link in chat to your channel as well. Guys, it's gonna be a while before we get to play Persona 3 on here, but considering the fact that nobody's been voting for it in the polls, but if you do want to see Persona 3 Reload, feel free to check out Nixie's channel because she is playing it now.
I did vote for it.
Well, yeah, but you're not waiting
because
for me.
I remember today that I can actually vote.
Oh. Alright. Not feeling my best today, but it's okay because it's Thoughtful Thursday. But I am thinking about doing a week of Persona for my birthday. Or a birthday week.
Yeah, it would have been strange. 1 day for a week? Yeah? How does that work? Do you have a time manipulating device?
Yes, I stole it from Kirijo-san.
Hey, give it to me.
Okay. Yeah, I need to focus on the areas that overlap. You think everyone is voting for the epilogue playing Ash? Well, we were gonna do that regardless. But that's an older poll. Let's see here. Yeah, this needs shading on more than just the soul. There we go. Okay. Oh, almost forgot this one. You just realized Persona 5 music is playing. Yep, beneath the mask. Okay, I think that's everything where... Oh, no, this leg too. The reason I'm doing this in pink is because she has all these section parts that overlap. And it helps with lining everything up. Here we go, that works. Okay. Oh, almost forgot about this part. Alright. Why does it always default to that? I want my starlight. And it got rid of it. Okay. Wish she could play that again. Oh yeah, Persona 5 is a good game. Trying to get Pokemon X and found one for $45. I mean, that's not too far off from what it was originally. I'm honestly surprised there's not a 0 after that 4 and 5.
Yeah, considering the age of the game by now.
Yep.
It's rather rare.
Where's my Starlight reference? Why can't I find my reference sheet? There it is. Yeah, and guys, let me know if the volume is good for the music. So I decided to try something different today by having it playing through OBS and not through my computer. Copy you found was used. Yeah, but normally, with how old that is now, normally it's like $200. So I'm honestly surprised you were able to get it at retail price. Oh shoot, wrong layer. Oh wait, no, that's the right layer. Yes, right layer. Okay, that's correct. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. All good. So Friday, we have a poll going up right now. Last I checked, the poll was at Persona 4, so it'll be a bonus Persona stream. Also, the fact that I forgot to shade in her neck on the reference sheet bothers me. It bothers me so much. Oh shoot. Why is the eraser on Vector? That's why it's being so... why it's giving me hard edges. Why are you giving me hard edges? I never switched you over to Vector. There we go. Mike's solo Miltank playthrough comes out tomorrow. Oh, you mean Mikey? M&J TV? I did not expect that he would do one of those. He hates Miltank. Is he doing it just to satisfy the fans or something? Whoops, that's not the right color. I guess it's kind of like how me playing Super Mario Sunshine is me suffering because I know that me suffering is entertaining. Like, it's me making myself suffer purely because I know that it's entertaining. You said once MNGTV plays hits 1 million subs, he would do a playthrough. Yeah. He has the viewership to back up those claims. I don't know that I would make a promise like that for like Five Nights at Freddy's or anything like that, just because it's not that I don't like it's not that I don't like games like that, it's that the stress of trying to get all this stuff done in a certain amount of time and having little to no control over what's going on causes me health issues. So it's not that I'm scared, it's just that it's literally too stressful. And that's not something I would make any kind of goal. Oh yeah, if you guys support my channel, then I will stress myself out to the point of health issues. Yeah, that's not really a good thing. But with it being like, oh yeah, I'll do a playthrough with my least favorite Pokemon, yeah. Like, I could promise to do a playthrough of Pokemon where I only use a full team of Pikachus. That might be like a 1 million subscriber goal. But that's also a long ways away, too. It's been in the channel banner for a while. Yeah. I mean, I could probably promise to play Pal World if we hit 3,000 subscribers. I could probably do that kind of a goal. I think setting a 1 million subscriber goal right now when I only have a little over 2,000 subscribers would be a little presumptuous. You don't get why they got rid of Pikachu's original cry? Well, it didn't originally say its name before. That was something that they added in with X and Y to celebrate their switch to 3D. So it's like, hey, we can do this now. But then it started raising the question of, well, if you could do that with Pikachu, then why not do it with the other Pokemon? And it's like, I know everybody wants voice acting in Pokemon, but I can understand why they don't. Because you gotta consider the fact that they have Pokemon in 14 different languages, and it is aimed at a much younger audience than something like Persona. Because like with Persona, they can get away with it because they have it, you know, it's just the two audio languages, Japanese and English, and then it's subtitles in whatever of the languages they have available. And you get to pick the subtitle language. But for Pokemon, it's aimed at children, and children don't want to be reading subtitles when they're watching something. It's like if they're hearing voices, they want to hear the voices. They don't want to be reading all the subtitles. So it doesn't really make as much sense in a game like Pokemon that it does for Persona. Because if they did voice acting in Pokemon, they would have to do voice acting in every language. And that would take up so much space on the game. It would be a lot of data. And that would just make the game's even performance drop even further. Okay, that's weird. Why did that not select with everything else? That was weird. And the same for Pokemon cries, because, like, Pokemon do not have the same names in every language. So if they did the Pokemon anime cries, they would have to have multiple cries for the same Pokemon. So, like, if they had Charizard, for example, if Charizard said Charizard in the games, that would be for the American release, because in Japanese, its name is Lizardon.
In German, it's Glurak.
Yeah. So that right there is 3 different sets of audio files they would need just for Charizard. So even though it would be nice to have the anime cries in the games, it's just not really feasible. Let's let them focus on making the games work. And honestly, if it was between having the National Dex return and adding voice acting, I would want the return of the National Dex, personally.
Yes, because it's not cool if your favorite Pokemon is cut out.
Yes, Absol.
It's a problem that you don't have.
Right? Because Game Freak is not going to leave out their precious mascot. Well, honestly, I am surprised that we never got Absol, because it's such a popular Pokemon. It's been a while since Absol was included in a Pokemon game.
It was in Sword and Shield.
Yeah. That was a while ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
How long will Ash be in retirement for? Well, the way I see it, it depends on how well people like Liko. If people don't like Liko and aren't watching the anime because Ash isn't there, then I could see them bringing Ash back. But if people are still watching it and like Liko, then they're going to allow Liko to, at the very least, finish her story. If people didn't like... Because, like, that's the thing, is that they're actually fairly safe the way that they did it, because they could always bring Ash back in. Because, like, they've acknowledged the fact that it's in the same universe, because they give Nurse Joyce the same backstory in the reboot that they had in the original. That's... Because in the original, they explained throughout a couple of different episodes throughout the series that Nurse Joy is more of a title than a name. And that they all have their own unique names that they were given at birth, but then when they grow up and become nurses, they gain the title of Nurse Joy. I don't like how that cuts off right there.
I haven't seen the new series yet.
I need to get back to watching it. I kind of failed at reviewing each episode every week. But I need to get back to watching it. I didn't want...
I need to start watching it, but I don't know where. I'm not really watching on the internet, so I'm waiting until I can watch it somewhere, like streaming or something on Netflix.
I mean, you can. Well, I guess it would be different because you're in Germany. I know that they have the Japanese release on Amazon Prime, which I should probably watch it there before my subscription ends, or my free month trial ends. So I got the free month trial so that I could watch Hazbin Hotel. But, like, that was more important for me to support the official release than Pokemon, because Pokemon I know is going to be fine without my one view. Hazbin Hotel highly depends on how well it does on Amazon Prime. Because with that series, they need every view they can get, not just for the sake of their show, but for the sake of other indie shows like it that want to be able to do what Hazbin has done. Oh, nuts. I just realized I had that going the wrong way. I have made an error on the internet, Lolas. And that works. It doesn't have to be exactly along the guidelines, it just has to be close. The guidelines are more there for the sake of making sure that the shadows stay consistent between colors.
Water break.
Water break. Hello, Meg. Welcome.
Hi, Meg.
Okay, still need to add color here. Fill that in. Although I have to say, I do really love how this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I really should get around to doing it sometime. I really want to make a piece that doesn't have the base color. So, like, I add all the shading and stuff in, but I do like the spray paint kind of shading, where it's like all fancy and stuff, like kind of like a 3D style painting. But then remove the base color I think this does. I think it does look kind of interesting without the base color, with just the shading and the highlights. Alright, the black's just done now, so... Alright, I need to... next selection. Oh yeah, Meg, you weren't here earlier, so I guess I'll say it again. I'm considering doing a full week of Persona for the week of my birthday. So, like, when my birthday week comes along, play Persona 4 for that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was thinking that might be a fun thing to do on my birthday, so we can continue taking a bit of a break from Pokemon, and also it's a good way to get through Persona 4 a little bit faster, so that we can get to Persona 3 Reload.
I'm definitely for this idea.
Yeah, but Meg wasn't here, so I wanted to repeat it.
Just saying that now because I didn't say it before. Well, that and, like, we're kind of getting burned out on Pokemon. So that's why I'm not doing, like, a Raichu only playthrough like we did last year. And if we do manage to finish Persona 4 during that week, then we can also move on. We can also start Persona 3 that week as well. Although I'll probably still have Pokemon options up for next week, especially since Tuesday is Pokemon Day. Hopefully they'll announce the Pokemon Presents soon, so we can start making plans. So I do have the day off. Believe it or not,
It's Saturday or something, right?
It's on Pokemon Day is going to be on a Tuesday, but I requested the day off and it got approved last month. Just realized that I forgot to account for the arch in the shading. Or in the guide. But that should do it.
Hello.
Hey, Fishy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay.
I forgot a set of guidelines. Here we go. No, that's not. If I change the tool, it's because I want to change the tool, not because I want to stay on the other one. I hate when it does that. Also, Meg says hi, Fishy.
Hello.
I'm so glad I have an art day scheduled into my stream schedule, because I know that I would not be working on this for a while if I didn't have it scheduled in here. Okay. Oh, the shield needs guidelines as well. Although I guess it is mostly gonna be in shade. So I guess I don't need to do guides, because it's mostly gonna be in shade anyways. No, Nanako is not in all of the Persona games. She's only in the games related to Persona 4. I'm sorry, but Nanako-chan will not be in Persona 3. Persona 3 actually takes place 2 years before Persona 4.
Yeah, none of the characters from Persona 4 are in Persona 3.
Yeah.
Just like how none of the Persona 3 or 4 characters are in Persona 5.
Well, I mean, that's not completely true because in Persona 4, you get to go on a school trip to Tatsumi Port Island, and you get to meet one of the teachers, the principal, as well as one of the social links from 3.
Yeah, but I mean, like, none of the main cast.
Yeah.
It's a secondary characters that make a cameo from P3 and P4.
Yep, and the only time a main character from Persona 4 appears in Persona 3 is if you're playing Persona 3 Portable and playing the female route, because the female character, her sports club takes a trip to, or does this like exchange, this, not really a cultural exchange thing, but more like a
school exchange.
well, it's more of a, we're gonna hang out with students at this other school to learn how to get along with our rivals. So you visit you visit Gakko-kan High, and, you visit Inaba and Yaso Inaba High School, and while you're there, you stay at the Amagi Inn. So they do introduce Yukiko, but it's middle school Yukiko. That's really the only time.
No, it's like there are crossovers between the games, but only in spin-off content.
Yeah.
Not the main.
Right, which is why we're going to be playing Persona 3 Reload before we play Persona 4 Arena and Ultimax, because even though they do focus more on the Persona 4 side, there's still you still have characters from Persona 3. Because you still meet, because Mitsuru, Akihiko, and Aigis are still in the game, and Fuka, though you don't see Fuka till like near the end. And then in Ultimax, you get introduced to Ken and Koromaru, along with Yukiko and Junpei.
Yeah. And I think so far, in regards to like the Persona 5 characters, I think the only crossover material for them is
Persona Q2.
Q2.
Yep, Persona Q2, and then on top of that, there's also the fact that there are posters all over of a movie that Rise is in called Sapphire. So you see posters of Rise in Persona 5, and you also see I think you also see posters of her rival Kanamine.
So it's like at least starting with Persona 3. So 3, 4, and 5 so far have all been set in a shared universe.
Yeah. Well, there's also, they don't really get into it in Persona 3, but like, from my understanding, in one of the, it was either 1 or 2, but the Kirijo group was actually in one of the older games, and they basically foreshadow the stuff that happens in Persona 3. But I don't remember all the details of that, because it's like, you only notice it if you've played the first one, but it's still like you don't have to play the other games to understand what's going on in Persona 3.
Oh yeah, like you don't need to have played, like you could jump in with any of them and understand what's going on, because for the most part they are isolated like incidents of like this is what's going on here, or it's more the spin-offs
Yeah. It's
that
more-
are it's
Yeah.
more the spin-off games that do crossovers and like that you need to like have played. Like you could jump in with 5 and have never played like 3 or 4 and you'd be perfectly fine. But if you were to say jump in and start with like P4 Arena, you might be a bit confused as to who some of the characters are that make appearances in it, because they are P3 characters and you're like,
Yeah.
who is this character and what's their backstory? Because it's not really.
I mean, they do give you the backstories, but it's also kind of like, well, if you were wanting to play Persona 3, well, now you're spoiled on the entire plot.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Ken Amada has the same hairstyle as Adrian Agreste. It's literally parted the exact same way and flips the exact same way.
Oh, I have to look this up now. Like, Kid Ken or older Ken?
Both. Older Ken has the same hairstyle as Kid Ken.
I thought it was a bit different. But oh my god, you are right. Oh my god.
You're never gonna be able to unsee that now.
Oh, it's definitely even more noticeable in Reload. Because there's a bit like Reload is a bit more detailed than the original P3
Mhm.
was with its character designs. Oh, I see it. Ken, are you secretly an Adrian Agreste fan? Has Adrian's popularity spread beyond?
Who are we talking about? Ken Amada, you're going to meet him a few months in.
Yeah, he's introduced a few months into the P3
Yeah.
storyline. He's a 10-year-old who, because of circumstances, in his
try to say
Yeah.
too much.
due to circumstances in Ken's life, he ends up living at the dorm that the main cast of characters live at, even though he's a middle schooler, not a high schooler.
He's actually in elementary school.
Oh, right.
It's only
be in,
in
like, his-
Arena
he-
where he's in middle school.
Right, because he'd be in, like, he's, what, like 5th grade?
Yeah, he's 10.
Yeah, he's 10, so he'd be in, like, 5th or 6th grade, and that's
4th.
No. I was 10 in 5th grade.
Yeah, but think back to Cardcaptor Sakura. They're 10 and they're in 4th grade.
I think it all depends on when your birthday is.
Yeah, well, things are actually different in Japan. If you are that age when the year starts, then that's the year that you start school.
I didn't start elementary school until I had already turned 5, so like I turned 5 in April and then did not start school, and like I turned 5 in April and then didn't start school until the following September. It's like how my niece is going to turn 5 next month in March, so she will not start. So she'll start elementary school in September of this year.
Gosh, your niece is already starting school.
I mean, she's already technically in preschool right now. But yeah, she starts actual elementary school.
I still remember when you first told me you were going to be an uncle.
I know. Yep, 2019. I know. And my nephew's already one. He's already walking and, trying to talk. Sometimes it sounds like he's saying real words, and other times it's still just baby babble.
Yeah. Gosh, they pick up on stuff so quick.
They're sponges.
Yes, they are.
They're little sponges of information.
Yep, I see you still remember that. Just like my child development teacher always used to say. They soak up everything around them.
Mhm.
Your niece and nephew turned 16 in November. My step-nieces are all adults now, but I do have a new baby niece. But sadly, I'm most likely not going to get to meet her. Because apparently me moving to Canada is a sign that I don't want anything to do with my family anymore.
Maybe it's just that you just don't like the state that the U.S. is going, the direction that the U.S. is going in, and wish
Yeah,
to live somewhere else.
maybe I want to live with my best friend. Maybe things will be easier for me if I move to Canada and live with my friends, because even though us individually can't really live on our own, together we can support each other. I mean, that's not like the only reason why I want to move to Canada. I also, want to be with you and also don't like how things are going, but like maybe it's like maybe this decision will actually be better for me in the long run. It's like maybe there's also some financial stuff going on with it. Maybe not everything revolves around her. Maybe not everything I do has to be about how great of a parent she is. Or isn't.
Yeah, it's like I have my own opinions about that woman that we will not get into. Let's just say she's one of the few people that I can say I have a strong dislike for. And I'm not usually a physically violent person, but boy, does a lot of the things she has said and done over the years make me want to smack her.
Yeah, like making her daughter sleep in the dog kennel. I don't care how large it is, that's still cruel.
That's actually considered like abuse, and
Yep.
would like if anything, like if you had proof of that, you could have like been like, yeah, I'm suing. Like I am,
I was
get
technically
her
an adult,
charged with like
but
I guess, but no, but still, it's like as like I'm saying, like if at the time you had like like, everything is in hindsight these days, but like at the time, it's like, this could be classified as child abuse. You could have called Child Protective Services on her.
Yep. I'm just glad I finally got my dad to understand that, why it's better for me not to have her in my life. Because he wound up cutting his mother out of his life. And even though, he still had his dad around, he was still estranged from his mom. And it's like, and I finally told him, Dad, it's just like how you cut your mom out of your life. And he's like, oh, yeah, I guess I can see that now. It's like, yeah.
It's like, it's better for the sake of my own mental health that it's like that I do not have contact with this person. Yeah, it's like, even if just because they're quote unquote family, they're your blood, doesn't necessarily mean you have to have this person in your life if they are exhibiting toxic behaviors that are, detrimental to your well-being.
Yep.
Like, if being around this person makes you feel like if every time you're around this person, they make you feel terrible about yourself and make you, like, miserable and make you cry, you have every right to be like, you know what? No, I deserve to be treated better. I'm not putting up with this. I'm cutting you off. And,
And let this also be a lesson to anyone else out there who is having a similar situation. If your parent is constantly putting you down and making you feel bad about yourself, try talking to someone else about it. Like, talk to your school counselor, talk to any authority figure who will listen, because, like, teachers are mandatory reporters. So if this had happened to me while I was in school and I told a teacher about it, they would have to report it. They would have to report to Child Protective Services that my mother was making me sleep in the dog kennel around their feces, even though she would, and yes, she would give me time to, like, clean it up and everything, but, like, I don't care how much bleach you're using, it's still the dog kennel. You're still sleeping on this cot that the dogs sleep on.
you all know dog farts are...
Oh yeah, and even though she passed away before they installed it, Miss Hawkeye had quite the farts.
I don't know, female dogs apparently. Silent but deadly. That's what I've noticed with Charlie and Nova, is you don't hear them, but you definitely smell them.
Yep.
And they linger.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but, like, I didn't question it at the time because this was normal to me. But that is not normal. Punishing your child by making them sleep in the dog kennel is not normal. And I know there's a lot of stigma out there of YouTubers, like, trauma dumping and stuff, but, like, I share my...
Sometimes
yeah.
sharing your story can then help people be like, oh, I'm having a similar situation to this person, I need to reach out to, the right people, whether it be like some kind of hotline or seeking some form of, or going to the authorities of some kind, or seeking out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
therapy of some kind. Like sharing your story can help others,
Yeah.
help them realize, hey, I'm in a similar situation. If this person is saying this isn't normal, maybe they're right, and maybe I need to like re-examine this relationship I have with this person, whether it be a family member, a friend, a partner.
Oh, yeah. And, like, the thing about trauma dumping, like, actual trauma dumping is more like, this awful thing happened to me, feel bad for me, and give me attention for it. I don't want attention for the fact that I was mistreated. I just want to, bring awareness to this, because it does happen. And there are people who think that, who do think that because your parents are your family, that you should forgive them and love them no matter what. Like my dad. He understood that for himself, but he couldn't quite understand that for me. Because he was so focused on the fact that, he didn't want to be the reason why I had a bad relationship with her. But he was never the reason for it. She was the reason. And I think that's what people get confused by, because there are people out there that will say, woe is me, I had such a horrible childhood, you should pity me and give me money, because if you don't, then you're just as bad as my abuser. And those people deserve scrutiny.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Alright. Aside from the tail, I think it's about done. I just want to give another once through. Oh wait, I need to do the gold highlights too. Yeah, they divorced when I was young. Hello, Villas, welcome. I was not old enough to have cognizant memories when they divorced. So I was lucky enough not to know what it was like to have married parents. And since my mom was always bad talking my dad, I never had that, like, jealous state of wishing that my parents would get together, being jealous of other kids and their parents. Because, like, I knew that my parents weren't good. It's like, I knew it was better that they stay apart. And I think as a kid who didn't really know better, I also kind of depended on how much they didn't like each other, at least as far as she went, because every kid has complaints about their parents, whether their parents are actually doing anything wrong or not. If your parent doesn't give, it was as a kid, your parent could just decide that you're not allowed to have any candy at the grocery store, and they're on your evil list. Yeah, it's like, as a kid, that is enough to get them on your I don't like this person list. So as a kid, I would always complain to her about stuff that my dad did, and I would do the same to Dad, but the difference was she would take that as an opportunity to badmouth him. He would not take that opportunity And he would always try to say, well, you know, she's your mother. You only get one mother. You should forgive her and try to have a good relationship with her, because once that's ruined, you can never get that back. But she didn't care. She reveled in it if I had anything bad to say about my dad. You feel that too? I take it you also have parental issues? Yeah, as an adult though, that's something that I will always admire about my dad, is that he never took those easy shots at her. He was always very mature about that and put me and my future relationship with her above him and his opinions on her. And that's something I will always admire about him. And for as much as she would complain about him, he didn't even charge her the child support that she was legally supposed to pay him. Because as far as he was concerned, he would rather that she spend that money on my brother and sister over spending that on me, because we were well off. He had a good job and was able to fully support me in my needs to make sure that I never wanted for anything. I always had a roof over my head, food on the table. You know, we weren't rich. We were definitely middle class, but I still consider myself very blessed and fortunate to have had everything that I had. Because I know that not everyone has that, both as children and as adults. And that's not to brag, that's just to say that, you know, I do appreciate everything that I had and have. Because even now, I don't have a lot, but I still have more than some people. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to be in a position where I can have what I need. Because I know that there's some people out there who aren't that fortunate. And even though there's not much that I can do to help, I do try to do what I can. That actually reminds me of when I first started working at the job that I'm currently at. It was only like a week into my job there, and I was still kind of struggling because of the fact that you know, I'd literally just started, so I didn't have a lot of, like, I hadn't even gotten my paycheck yet. I was literally living off of the scraps that I still had from my previous job before it stopped existing. So I didn't get fired, it's just that my job just sort of ceased to exist. But I still didn't have a lot of money at the time. But when a coworker was giving me a ride to work, we stopped by McDonald's and to get some food before going in, because he started before I had to be there, but he was giving me a ride, so it's like, yeah, I don't mind sitting in the break room for an hour. But we decided to stop by McDonald's, and as we were leaving McDonald's, I noticed that there was a homeless man holding up a sign, you know, asking for money by the side of the road, and we were pulled up next to him. So even though I didn't have any cash on me, and I couldn't afford to give him my full food because, you know, I was hungry too and I needed food too and I was short on money, I decided to go ahead, and what I did was I tore my burger in half, and I had my coworker roll down his window, and I gave half of my burger to that man. sometimes. Even though I can't always do a lot, sometimes it's really the little things that help. And you do still want to be careful giving money to people on the street like that, because there are some people who do take advantage of the system, but you really don't know who's taking advantage of the system and who's actually down on their luck. And it's really not your place to judge and decide who a person is that you don't know. So what I like to do is I prefer to give homeless people food instead of money, because if they are the kind of person that's taking advantage of the system, then giving them money won't actually help them. But whether they are or not, we all have to eat and we all need food. So giving them food will help them regardless of what their situation is that caused them to end up on the streets.
I am back.
Welcome back. Have I ever been homeless before? No, but I have been in the position where I was struggling. Like, I have been in a struggling position before. Back when I still worked for... Like, back before I got this job, I did have some months where I couldn't afford to pay all of my bills on top, as well as paying my rent. So there were times when I would prioritize heat and electricity over water. So there would be times where I just wouldn't have any running water for a month or so because I couldn't afford to pay my water bill at the time. But I was very fortunate that I had a coworker who found out and was willing to help me out. Like, at the time, I still hadn't completely gotten over the trauma of, you know, how my egg donor would treat me, in that, you know, I was a burden to her and everyone else around me, and therefore I shouldn't ask for help because then I'm just burdening people more. Was the mindset that she instilled in me. But I had a coworker who found out that I wasn't able to flush the toilet or take a shower because my water was turned off. So what she did was she called the water company up because she wanted to pay my full bill, as well as put some credit on the account as well. They wouldn't let her do it without the last four of my social security number. So she did have to ask me for that, and you know, she told me exactly what it was for, and even when I tried to argue with her, be like, "Oh no, you don't have to do that," she kept insisting until I finally accepted her generosity and kindness. And then after that, after she got that, she also... Oh no, it was before that. Like, before that, once she found out that I couldn't even, that I was in the position that I was, she took me through the store and she bought me a couple gallons of water just so I could flush my toilet. Yeah, she was a good friend.
It's people like that that restore my faith in humanity.
Oh yeah, she was definitely one of the people that helped me to realize that it's okay for me to accept help from others, especially when it's being offered. And it's okay to ask for help, too. I mean, I still wouldn't ask anyone to pay my bill for me or anything like that. But it's, yeah. Like, that was a lesson that I had to learn back at Steak and Shake, too, was that it's okay to ask people, to ask someone for a ride home, or to allow someone to offer that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to accept rides home back when I worked at Steak and Shake. That was really hard for me, was to allow people to make that offer. It was easier for me to accept if somebody was coming up, driving up to me on the side of the road and saying, "Oh, hey there, Matsu, I see you're going to work. Let me give you a ride the rest of the way." It was easier for me to accept that because, like, they already stopped and I already knew they were going exactly where I was going. But it was a lot harder for me to accept when someone would say, "Oh, hey, Matsu, it's storming really bad outside. I know you're walking home, so how about I give you a ride home so you don't have to walk in this bad weather?" Don't mind me asking, were there days where I didn't eat? I never got to that point, but that was also... And I'm not proud of this, but there was, like, when I worked at Steak and Shake, one of the things that helped me get by was taking food. And I'm not proud of that, but it's also something that literally everybody did. If you ask the cook, it's like, "Hey, can you make me this burger?" They would make it for you without bringing it in. We weren't supposed to do that, but I think even management knew that we were doing it.
Oh, probably.
Like, I don't condone stealing, but at the same time, sometimes you don't really have much other options. Especially when the closest food bank is an hour's bus ride away. And you have an eating disorder where a lot of the foods that are available at food banks aren't stuff that you would eat, and also have that mental trauma of, "I don't deserve this," and therefore telling yourself, "Well, I could go to a food bank, but there are other people who deserve it more than me. I should leave that food for people who deserve it more than I do." So I had the mindset that if I took that food, then, well, now I'm taking it from other people who need it more than me, and I don't deserve that food. Those other people need it more than me. But somehow my brain never made the connection of well, why do I deserve free food when there's other people who don't eat? Somehow my brain never made that connection.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. Because, like, I could make do with what I had, but I was making do on very unhealthy foods because that's all I could afford, were the 50-cent boxes of mac and cheese.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the food industry, and that's what it is at this point, is that everyone talks about like, oh, we should all be eating healthier, and it's like, yeah, but those healthy foods have incredibly high prices that many people just can't afford. And the food that's classified as junk food
Is so cheap.
is cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that corporations are willing to do that and be like to hike up prices on things because it's healthy is just sinister in my opinion.
Yeah, you take it food home all the time. Yeah, but like even more so with like mess up food, because mess up food, I feel like you shouldn't have to feel guilty at all
Oh,
about
definitely.
taking.
No, because like that's the thing that like happens at a lot of stores is that like, oh, at the end of it's like, oh, we didn't,
Just
we
gonna
made
get thrown
this, but
away.
it's like we made this, but it's quote unquote gone bad because it's been sitting out for so many hours. So like
Well,
it's like
That's not
it
it
gets
though. That's not what I meant though. It's mess up food as in somebody ordered this but we messed it up and we had to make them another burger.
that no, but then you have like things at like bakeries and stuff where it's like, oh, this didn't sell by the end of the day, and like I think the workers should be able to take it home because it's like it's still good, but
Mhm.
because of regulations or whatever, it's nope, this didn't sell, so into the trash it goes. I'm just like, that's such a waste of food that could be,
That's one of the things I liked about working at Meijer was because if they had something that was still good but couldn't be sold, they would donate it to food banks.
See, and I think that's what most, places should do. Because, unlike what a lot of people think, the best before date on food items that you see in store, it's not that, oh, this will go bad by this date. It's, we can't, if this item has not been bought by this date, we have to take it off the shelf and like throw it away. Which I think it's like, okay, this item didn't sell before its best before date. Well, the food, unless it actually has gone bad, and you should be able to then be like, okay, well, this didn't sell, but the food is still good because it's been kept like refrigerated or something. You should be able to then like donate it to local food bank or something.
Yeah, stuff like that Meijer will put on sale.
Yeah, I know a lot of places will, like if something's getting close to its best before date,
Mm-hmm.
they'll mark it down so that it's more likely to sell before.
But like if something is damaged but is still good, like say you got a carton of milk that's dented it's not cracked. It's still completely sealed and perfectly safe. But they know that people won't want to buy it, so they donate it instead.
Yeah, and I think that's what more grocery stores and such should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Maya
Instead of like, oh, this food, oh well, it's past this thing's best before date, and toss.
Yeah, Maya does a lot of stuff that other companies really need to do, like taking care of your employees and not requiring that they pay union fees just to be treated like human beings. I kid you not, I legit cried at orientation at Meijer because of all the stuff that they were telling us they did to protect their employees.
They actually treated their employees as people and not just cogs in our machine.
Yep.
No, it's because of companies that treat their employees as just a tool that unions came into existence in the first place.
Yep. And now some companies like Walmart require you to join a union.
Well, being part of the union does protect you.
It does. But, like, you're basically saying, we will not treat you the way you deserve to be treated. So
Unless you're
unless
you're a union.
Yeah.
It's like, unless you're able to, it's like, oh, unless you join the union, we won't treat you like a person, and like, because if we don't, because like, if you're not part of the union, then there's no repercussions for us not treating you like a person.
Yep.
So if you want us to treat you with human decency and respect and like understanding, if something, because like you have all those companies where like a person could be like practically on death's door sick, and it's like, oh well, unless you have a doctor's note, like they could
you can still have a doctor's note.
It's like this person could be like very obviously like with very many physical signs, like yes, they are sick, they should not be here, and it's still like, I still think you can come in, and it's like,
you can still get fired with a doctor's note if you live in the wrong place. I once got fired from that cafe. I remember telling you about that I got fired because I called off for the first time since working there in over a year with a 103-degree fever and a note from a doctor saying that I was highly contagious and not to return to work until at least the next day so that the antibiotics could kick in, and to the point where I wouldn't be contagious anymore. And they said, nope, you show up or you're fired. Oh, we don't need to see your doctor's note because you're fired. And I was a dishwasher.
no, but there's still a food safe. Like that's still it's like you're still working around other people who manage food, so that is a food safe violation that they just committed.
Mm-hmm. But sadly, because up until like a few weeks before that incident, I'd only been working there for 1 day a week. Because the other dishwasher that they had only recently wound up retiring. So I took over for him. And so instead of working 1 day a week, I was now working, pretty much every opening day, which was every day except Sunday. But I had,
So you went from 1 day a week to 6 days a week?
Yeah. But because I hadn't made enough money for the workers' comp to be worth it, it would have cost more to sue them for wrongful termination.
Than to just find a new job.
Yeah. Than what we would have gotten back from them. It's like, the lawyer we spoke to said that we would win, but the court fees would end up costing more than what we would get back.
So it just wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
And because of that, that's how companies like that can get away with those things.
Yep.
Just because someone's an employee doesn't mean that they aren't still a person. It's just something that so many other people seem to forget when they deal with, like, customer service people. It's like their human decency just, like, shuts off, and, like, they forget that this person is a person. It's like, oh, it's like, they're like, you're keeping me from getting what I want, so I'm gonna be super angry at you and scream in your face and not let you explain why you have to do things the way you do because of, like, I'm just gonna keep saying you're an idiot and you're terrible at your job and that you should get fired, even though you're doing exactly what you were trained to do.
Yep.
Or I'm not gonna let you finish your sentences, and I'm gonna demand that you put me on with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yep. It's like, lady, I've been here for 4.5 years. I'm the one that management tells people to say, hey, if we're not available, you can ask Matsu. I know what I'm doing. I spent a year in guest relations. Like, no, I kid you not. When I say that management will tell people that they can ask me, we just got a new girl on our team, and my boss, knowing that I love helping people and am always willing to help out new coworkers and answer questions for them, she told them, listen, if I'm not here and you have a question, feel free to ask Matsu, because she will answer your question. She's been here for a long time and I trust her. And she even messaged me, was like, hey, I hope this is okay. I told so-and-so that she can message you. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, because you know that I love helping people. And I know that there are some people out there who would be like, oh, well, I don't want to be volunteered for something it's like that. It's like, that's different. If you don't like helping people, then that for one thing, don't work a customer service job if you don't like helping people. But, like, I like helping people, and I'm always helping out in the chats. I'm always offering to my supervisors, hey, I've noticed that you guys are having trouble keeping up with chat. Do you need some help? Or, hey, I've noticed that it seems to be just you and one other supervisor. Do you need some help? Like, I'm always volunteering to help, so they know that they can ask me.
Just don't let people take advantage of that kindness.
Oh, no, they don't. And honestly, sometimes it works out even better, because sometimes they need me to actually get off the phones and help out in chat. So they'll take me off of the phones so that I can help out without being distracted by calls, and not be distracted from chat by chat from the call. So like being on the phone with a customer and then not giving them my full attention because I'm helping out in chat. And that means that I get to not have to deal with the stress of the occasional idiot or Karen, because the stupid people are frustrating too.
Oh, like you've explained in layman's terms, like this is what you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and
my-
you're like, it's like I can't explain it in any more, like, in any simpler terms than what I've already told you, but they're still not getting it, and you're like, I've explained this to you like 5 times now.
Or the people who don't want to let you talk, and they just want to interrupt you and not let you finish talking, but then they get confused by everything because they wouldn't let you finish explaining.
It's like, if you had let me give you my spiel.
Which I had that earlier today. This woman kept interrupting me and then kept getting confused because she kept assuming that she understood based on me giving her a quarter of the information, and then I had to keep trying to correct her.
It's like, if you had let me give you all the information at once, if you had just let me talk for like 2 minutes, we would be done. And you would be on your way to do other things.
Speaking
You
of
have taken
done,
something that should have taken at max 5 minutes on the phone and made it much longer than it ever needed to be.
speaking of done, I think I am done with this. I think she's looking pretty good. Okay.
Do you ever see how much money you have in a video game and just be like, gosh, I wish I had that much money in real life? It would make things so much simpler.
Like recently, I managed to save up 800,000 yen in Persona 3 and was able to buy a 500,000 yen accessory. It's like,
You
man,
really bought that?
yeah. Get the bonus experience. Plus 15% to the experience gained? Yeah, I bought that.
Because, like, I'm looking at the balance I have in a game, and it's like over 4 million, and I'm just like, oh, how I wish I could buy a house with that kind of money.
I'm also keeping an eye out for the soul badge, because I want that Invigorate +3 on everybody, if I can help it. I think it's probably just going to be a reward for a request, which means it would take a couple of playthroughs to get enough for a full team, but at the very least, I managed to get Yukari some armor that gives her Invigorate +2. And I also found an accessory that I was able to give to Akihiko. So the only one without Invigorate right now is Aigis. But if I'm not, but I only use her buffs for boss fights, so. Alright.
I wish the Persona games, because I know a lot of people were asking, especially with before Reload was like coming out, they're like, oh, they like were really hoping that that Reload would take the mechanic from Portable with FemMC and let you play as her in Reload, but that didn't happen. But it's like, a lot of people want to be able to like play as a female protagonist, but other than Portable, all the protagonists in the Persona games have been they default to male.
Yep. I'm still holding out hope that we might get DLC because there's a rumor going around, which was started by a prominent leaker who has a very good track record of being right. But there's a rumor going around that we might be getting DLC for The Answer, which was the bonus epilogue in for Persona 3 Fest.
Mhm.
So if we're getting that, then I'm hopeful that we'll get FemC DLC.
Only time will tell.
Yep.
Because it's like she was popular enough that she reappeared in a spin-off.
Yep.
She appeared in Persona Q 2
Yes.
as like a non-playable character, but like clearly she was popular enough that they're like, we're gonna bring her back and have her be important.
I wouldn't
to
say
the storyline.
she's a non-playable character. She's as playable as the other characters.
But I just mean like she's not outside of like you can't like unlike with because PQ Persona Q, the original one, let you choose between Persona's 3 protagonist and Persona 4's protagonist,
Mhm.
which one you wanted to play as. But Persona Q2, you default to playing as Joker.
Yeah. Well, you
And
can
then-
only play as Joker. It's not default. It's just that you can only play as him.
He's the only protagonist. He's the only protagonist you play as.
Yeah, because they didn't want to create 3 whole storylines for one
Yeah.
game.
Which is, understandable.
Yep. Which speaking of, when we do get to playing Q, I might do a poll to see which version we play. If we play as Minato or if we play as you. Oh, and I do call the Persona 3 protagonist by his manga name, not his anime name, because that gets confusing having Makoto Yuki and Makoto Nijima in Persona 5.
I mean, that's what he got. That is like his canon name now, though. Is that like in Reload when you first start up?
No, it's
and
not.
you're- Yeah. No, Makoto is his default name now.
When you first start the game up, it has you make a name for him just like in any other main series Persona game.
I know, but when you start that, the name that's in there first that you have
it's
to
blank.
erase.
No, it's
No,
not.
I've
It's
seen-
blank.
I've seen others where
No,
where
it's blank.
I've seen videos of people.
No, those I'm not sure where you're seeing those, but when I played it, it was just blank. Oops.
Yeah, no, it says here the protagonist of Persona 4, canonically known as Makoto Yuki, having been used in other media and later confirmed as the default name in the 2023 re-release of Persona 3 Portable. Okay. Is a transfer student enrolling in Gekkoukan High School. So yeah,
That's also fake then, because Portable came out before the anime movies.
no, re-release of Persona 3 Portable.
Ah,
It was confirmed as his default name in the 2023 re-release of Persona 3 Portable. Because they released it for yeah.
that's weird
It got
though,
a re-
because I don't remember that defaulting the female protagonist's name.
Well, this is the remake, not the original Persona.
The remake is Persona 3 Reload.
No, I'm
The
talking about
re-release of Persona 3 Portable is just a port of the PlayStation Portable game onto other platforms. And Portable first came out before the movies, which is where the name Makoto Yuki comes from.
No, apparently, so FemC is Katone Shiomi. The name originated for her from a stage play, but then was later clarified as the default name in the 2023 re-release of Persona 3 Portable.
Yeah. Well, I still prefer Minato over Makoto just because, like, Atlas, stop giving characters the same names!
I mean, it's accurate to real life.
Yeah, but when you have a franchise like that, especially a franchise where characters are going to be interacting in spin-offs, you can't be giving them the same names as each other because that just gets confusing.
Well, I think it's a little more forgiving in Japanese games because a lot of times characters get referred to by their last name.
In Persona, you know how in Persona 4 Golden they added Marie? And it's spelled Marie?
Mm-hmm.
In Persona 5 Tactica, they add a character named Marie, spelled Marie. And neither Marie or Marie are given last names.
Hmm. That would be confusing, especially if
When it's
you're
spelled
just
out.
reading.
Yeah.
If you're just reading that and not hearing it said. Which is a nice thing I like about Reload is that all the social links now have voice acting, which they didn't in the original.
Oh,
Which
yeah. Speaking of, Nixie, when you were playing and you spoke to those students that were voiced, all of those characters, they're not characters that will join your team. Those are your social links.
basically the social links,
They're like the confidants.
they're basically your friendships and getting your social links up strengthens certain arcanas, which then strengthen the
Yeah.
personas. But just because someone's a social link doesn't mean that they will become a member of the team.
And in Persona 3 Reload, just because someone is on your team doesn't mean you get to form a social link with them. Akihiko, Shinjiro, and Ken and Junpei.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean, it's a bit more forgiving considering the fact that it was the first game to introduce social links.
And they were also using them a number of them are also romance options.
Yeah, and Atlas wasn't brave. Well, they still haven't become brave enough to give you the option to be gay.
It is what it is. It's the game industry.
Yep, but there are a lot of fans crying out.
There are a lot of
yeah.
fans who are like, I want to I have a friend who's playing Persona 4 for the first time this year, and he loves kanji and wishes that you could romance kanji.
Yes, if anyone made sense to be able to romance, it would be kanji.
Yeah. The only way that they would ever let you romance kanji is if they were to make something like they did with P3 Portable, where you get to play as a female character, because that is the only time that you can romance the guys, and that that they have social links is if you're playing Portable.
Although they have found leaks, or they have found in data mines that there was actually going to be a romance option with Yosuke, which would make Yosuke a hypocrite. Although, you could also look at that as him masking his own sexuality.
It could be internalized just in everything, and him not realizing yet that actually, because there is a lot of material in just the way that Yosuke talks about the protagonist, and especially in some of the later spin-offs and everything, they're this a lot of stuff in here could be interpreted as romantic, because there's that, you know how you can have partner dances in Moonlight and Starlight?
Yeah, although I haven't played them.
There's a moment in one of them where if you're dancing with Yosuke, he blows a little kiss towards you. And I'm just like, it's interesting because it's like kind of out of character for him, and it's like, is he flirting? Oh my god.
I think that's more just his general dancing, though.
No, he only does it with.
He only does it with you.
Yeah, he only does it with the protagonist. Apparently, if you're dancing, if he's dancing with you.
I'm gonna take that as Nixie calling for a water break.
Water break.
Your depression is kicking your butt tonight. You don't know why. Probably lack of sleep from last night.
Oh, yeah. Lack of sleep can be.
I think lack of sleep is part of, like, I know why I feel so out of it, today, but I think lack of sleep is, at least lack of proper sleep
Is a contributing
like,
factor.
yeah, it's a contributor to why it's as bad as it is. It's normally not this bad, but I didn't get to bed till like 3:30, 4 a.m.
What time did you wake up?
11:30.
Hmm.
So it's not like I didn't get enough sleep.
Like,
But-
did you end up with that whole like falling asleep and then waking up and having to fall back asleep kind of thing?
Not no, I didn't. I slept. It was a deep sleep. But my body's just not used to staying up till 4 a.m. Yeah, I also have to say though, like, back on Persona, I'm very frustrated that they whitewashed the two black characters.
Which ones?
There are two social link characters, Kazushi and Yuko, who are black, but they're really whitewashed. Like, you can still tell that they have a darker skin tone in their artwork, but their models are almost just as white as the rest of the characters.
Hmm.
Like, there are scenes, like, if you romance Yuko and get to the final scene where you're in her room, she's sitting, the two of you are sitting on her bed together, and you can barely tell the difference between her complexion and yours.
Hmm.
And then, apparently, I'm not the only one to notice that, because when I was Googling images to post on Twitter to complain about it, I found that somebody had noticed this in the trailer, or in one of the trailers. So they did a trailer showing off, the social links and how you could spend your day, and somebody noticed Yuko in the background of a certain scene, and how pale she looked. And it's like, she's supposed to be black. And it does kind of bring back memories to when they had a similar issue with Wreck-It Ralph, and Pixar was like, "Oh well, that's just we'll do something. We'll do our best to fix this, but this was caused by the rendering process, and the model just turned out this way."
Oh, with Tiana
Yeah, with Tiana
and her appearance in
Wreck-It Ralph.
Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah, and people noticed that she looked a lot lighter, and were understandably upset.
Yeah, it's like because like Tiana is fairly dark skinned in the original Princess and the Frog. Like,
Mm-hmm. But sadly, unlike Disney, who heard outcry and didn't just say something, they actually went through and made sure it was fixed for the final production. Atlas made no, from what I've seen, Atlas made no statements about why Yuko looked lighter, and they definitely didn't fix it.
No, because they Disney, like with Tiana's appearance in Ralph Breaks the Internet, they even went a step further, and when she's in her comfy outfit, they even let her have just like her natural curls be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think in the trailer, she still had her hair up in like an updo in her comfy clothes. Like, no, like that's sad because it's like it's 2023. Like, we should not be having issues like that.
And like, the fact that they went back and fixed it makes me feel like that might have actually been what was happening, was that it was just, you know, the way that it rendered made the lighting affect her skin tone in a way that was unintended. But at the same time, like, don't just, you know, the difference between them is that Disney heard people's outcry and fixed it. Atlas did nothing to fix it.
They didn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah. They didn't acknowledge it, they didn't do anything to fix it. So that is kind of icky.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of a bit to be expensive because like it's also a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Japan is still in an era where light skin is beautiful, and like they advertise products to help lighten your skin so that you can be pretty. And
Yep, which is why in most animes, even though the characters, like even the animes that are set in Japan, the characters still look white. That's something a lot of anime fans have noticed, is that, you know, these characters live in Japan, but
they have Japanese names, but like
Yeah.
they're supposedly naturally blonde and blue-eyed.
Yeah, they have very Western appearances.
Like, I'm more willing to accept the characters that have like crazy hair, like supposedly their hair is naturally green or blue or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
And at least in Persona, the only characters with blonde hair are Ryuji, who canonically dyed his hair. They even point out that his hair is dyed. And then Bebe, who is a foreign
French
exchange student from France.
everyone else at least has some kind of like darker.
Yeah. It's like, aside from Bebe, the two characters with the lightest hair are Akihiko, whose hair is white, and Yukari, whose hair is a light brown.
Mhm.
And then you get the main character in Fuka, whose hair colors are blue and bluish green.
Mhm. And then,
Well, yeah, and then Aigis, but
but
that's
Aigis is
Aigis.
a robot.
Yeah.
Aigis is a android.
Yep.
She's not human.
I love Aigis, though. I just don't love what they did to her
And that-
lines in Tartarus.
And I suppose like Mitsuru has kind of a unnatural hair color.
Yeah, Mitsuru's a redhead. But Mitsuru, you can also explain with the fact that, you know, her family is rich, so it's very likely that she had a foreign mother, because her father is not a redhead.
Hmm.
You're here still just studying it out? Oh, no worries, Nixie.
But like, her hair is still technically like an unnatural color because no one is naturally that shade of red.
Yeah.
In less, yeah, it's like that.
But that's also very common in just animation in general for a character with red hair to be that red.
Fire truck red.
Yeah. It's like even Ariel has fire truck red hair.
That I'm a little more accepting of because like mermaid genetics.
Yep.
Because like if you watch the show, the animated Little Mermaid show, there's like a couple background characters that also have like crazy unnatural hair color. Like there's like a mermaid you see in a couple, like her model reused a couple times where it's like she has pink hair.
Yep. And then Triton also had fire truck red hair.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Triton who was the redhead. Triton was the redheaded parrot. Not Athena. His hair was so red that his nickname when he was a child was literally Red. But why would we look at pre-existing material when making a prequel? That just sounds dumb.
Why use the prequel to answer questions that fans have been wondering for literal years when we can just come up with a half-baked plot?
Why make Ursula the main villain?
And we can introduce a character that nobody's ever going to see again after this movie. Oh, Ariel's key personality trait and interest, her fascination with the human world. Oh, we're not going to use this prequel to explore that and like explain how she became interested in the human world. Nope.
No, we're just gonna talk more about how pretty of a singing voice she has.
No, the sisters, yeah, we'll kind of do more with them, but they're all gonna have one-note personalities.
It's like we'll kind of reference the other material with the personalities we give them, but not really. It's like, oh, Adela Adela really likes boys. Okay, let's make that her only personality trait is that she likes boys. Are you a boy? Close enough.
Oh, the age order that was implied to be the order in which they sang their names in during Daughters of Triton in the original. No, we're gonna completely ignore that. Oh, Atina's got this big pointy crown that's kind of reminiscent to Triton's crown. So clearly she must be the oldest. Thought and effort put into creating a unique design for Ariel and her sister's mom that would like pull in traits from the other sisters. No, we're just gonna make her look like an older Ariel with a slightly different color palette.
104 had Dynamax Adventures for Groudon. Oof. Well, I'm glad you at least got it, Nixie. I really wish that they hadn't shiny locked the legendaries in Scarlet and Violet.
No shiny legendaries for you.
Not unless I want to do Dynamax Adventures. Wow.
What?
I'm not sure what Raven or what's going on in the call that Raven is in right now, but something that they heard, I heard too. Came through their headphones.
Oh, man.
Hello, Melon Milotic, welcome. Okay. Was it something good? I'm just gonna not say anything more.
I mean, there have been many a time when I've been in call with them and I've heard you in the background. But that's just because, like, I hate to, like, I'm not being mean, but you are naturally, like, loud and
loud.
You are a naturally loud and boisterous person. Like,
That's something I got from my father, yes.
you are the definition of an extrovert.
I wouldn't say I define extrovert, because I do have my introverted moments.
But you're much more of a people person than I am.
Yes. Nice.
I can socialize and be fine doing it, but I have like a threshold where it's like if I'm doing it in person and if it's with like multiple people, eventually I will have to like excuse myself and be like, I need to sit in a quiet space and just not talk for a while. I need to recharge my batteries.
No, don't blind Christian. Christian needs his eyesight. We're not even playing hide and seek right now.
What?
Oh, a while back I was doing a synchro hide and seek with Anxious Christian and Nira Nixie. And Melon Milotic in chat right now, they were constantly asking me for permission to blind Christian so that he couldn't find me in hide and seek. It's like, I'm a ninja regardless. Didn't need the help. And also, don't be mean. Like, I also didn't really need the help either because I'm a ninja and I'm gonna get you. The sun don't hit you. Oh, crud. I wasn't supposed to raise that much. There we go.
Hey, Matsu.
Yes.
I was a girl in the village doing alright.
Then I became a princess overnight. Now I gotta figure out how to do it right. So much to learn and see. This show is seriously underrated.
I am excited for the potential spin-off. Royal Prep Academy, which is like apparently like in production. Like I don't know when it'll come out, and we don't really know much about like the plot or if Sophia will make like appearances in it or not. But it is, you know, another Sophia spin-off set at, you know, at Royal Prep. So
At Royal Prep, step by step, we'll gain wisdom and pep. Heed the call and be all we can be. Oh. You hid from him very well last game. You played hide and seek. With him hiding as Alolan Vulpix blended in with the white blocks. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Scientist gave you a Raichu. Nice. Hello, Vucky. Welcome.
right.
Yay. Okay, that part's finally done.
Pancake.
I know that
Alolan Raichu is pancake colored.
Yes. And then shiny is chocolate pancake.
I will be right back.
Okay. What joke did you miss me saying it? I don't recall a joke being made, sorry. Turns out I didn't have it set up. Also, you're disappointed Nixie didn't follow... Oh, that joke, okay. You're disappointed Nixie didn't follow the joke you made with Vulpix and Ninetales yesterday. Oops. Don't forget to erase that. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Okay. Sucks being dead tired, but Insomnia says nah. I hear you there. For me, it was that I was dead tired last night, but I was like, well, I just want to finish this. I just want to finish this floor. I just want to get, I just want to get to the next border. It's like I'm almost at the next
I know
border.
that feeling.
I'm almost at the border floor. I'm almost there. Oh, and there's the monad door. Well, I just want to... Okay, that shouldn't take too long. I'll just go ahead and do that really quick. And then all 3 fights turned out to be difficult.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Matsu.
Welcome back.
But
And don't forget our motto, to which you'll be true.
rule over others as you'd have them rule over you.
We're royal all the way. And good old RPA. With wisdom, grace, and pep. At Royal Prep.
You last night, it was... You were excited to hang out with a friend today, but they canceled on you last minute? Oh. So it wound up being for naught regardless.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh. You'd like the current decor challenge going on in Dreamlight Valley this week, Matsu.
What is it, pastel?
It's Minnie Mouse's Festival of Hearts. Celebrate best friendships and sweethearts in the valley. Decorate with cute decor and rosy hues to share the love this week.
No. Yeah, I thought about doing something Valentine's Day related, but was like, I'm too tired. I just want to finish the pieces I'm working on.
Well, Valentine's Day was yesterday anyway, and you don't stream on Wednesdays anymore.
Nope. And we might do some pink shiny hunting tomorrow.
How many?
But-
There's a fair amount of pink shinies.
Yep.
Honestly, I kind of wish there were more like pastel colored shinies. Like so many of them are like neon almost. Like I feel like Espeon's shiny, I would like it more if it was like a softer green.
Although I do like how it looks in Scarlet and Violet. It looks a lot better in Scarlet and Violet.
Shinies were introduced in what, Gen 2?
Yes. It was
'Cause
basically a
which
way to show off the
the fact that the game was now in color.
the Game Boy Color. And I do like when Game Freak does that, implementing new aspects of the newer system into the games.
Mhm.
Although it didn't really work out very well with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Well, I think the remakes that have the like that most people were just like either disappointed in or just feel meh about were
Just both the Switch ones.
Pearl, Diamond, and Pearl, because like they even because that one it wasn't Game Freak that did that one. They outsourced that one to a different company.
Yep.
So I guess they could so that Game Freak could focus on, I guess, Legends Arceus.
That's basically the biggest request right now, is that they not let Ilka touch another Pokemon game.
Yeah, because Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, people were like, you actually like took things out that were there in the original.
And it's like, some of the things that they left behind are stuff that really should have been taken out, like certain glitches that were in the original that were present in the remake, but were fixed in Platinum.
Yeah, it's like you're a remake, and yet you're reintroducing glitches that were fixed in another, like in the sequel game to Diamond and Pearl.
And they still haven't fixed the shiny charm either. I don't think they'll ever fix the shiny charm at this point.
And then features that were in the original Diamond and Pearl are just not to be found at all in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and people are like, why was this removed for the remake? Like,
It's like, I honestly don't hate the chibis. I think they look nice, and
the chibi style is cute. It's just a lot of people are like, it was just it was more of people just being like, this was a letdown of a remake. Like, it didn't introduce anything new. It didn't expand on stuff that was in the original, and people just feel like, what was the point of this remake? It didn't, really. Remakes are supposed to be like a change or a quote unquote improvement to the original. It's supposed to, but like, other than removing a lot of features, it really was just a 1-for-1 of Diamond and Pearl, just with a different art style. It's like that's my biggest gripe of some remakes, is the ones where the director was like, the team behind it are like, make it like a 1-for-1 where everything's exactly the same. It's just like, oh, we just have different actors, and I'm like, what's the point of remaking and retelling a story if it's exactly shot for shot, word for word, matching the original? Like, what I expect for a remake is like, they add some stuff, like they expand on lore and things that are there in the original, especially if in movies' sake, with like, say, taking in live action and taking it animated and making it live action. Live actions usually have a longer runtime than animated films, so there's more time to tell the story, which means you can take plot elements that were there in the original and expand on them, or give us more backstory to certain characters that okay, we knew a bit about this character's past, but like, now this new version can greatly expand on that and tell us more and
Mm-hmm.
like, fully go into that character's motivations. Like that's why I really was very happy with the live action Little Mermaid. It
It actually felt
it
like it had a reason to exist.
it felt, yeah, it expanded on stuff that was it was like clearly love for the original was there, and they paid great homage to the original, but at the same time it felt like its own thing with like, you know, new details to explore.
Yep.
Like in my opinion, it's one of the best live action remakes that Disney's done, up there with like the live action Cinderella,
Mm-hmm.
which people like greatly praise as like, and I think the live action Cinderella is definitely worthy of the praise it gets.
Oh yeah.
Like there's clearly, like, you can see the love for the original animated film, but it's its own thing at the same time.
Yeah, BDSP is definitely my least favorite remake. Like, literally the only thing they did right was making starters and legendaries shiny huntable. But even then, it's a pain because it's full odds because they messed up the shiny charm. But I still want to figure out how to unlock Giratina in that game so I can hunt it there, because even though it would be full odds reset hunting, I think I would still prefer to hunt Giratina in that game with reset hunts versus doing Dynamax adventures.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still holding out hope that we're gonna get Johto. It's like, I really do think we're getting Johto reimaginings this year, but they're, you know, based on Ku's recent tweets with the Red Eyes and Blue Eyes Black Dragons, like, I'm finally forced to admit that there is a possibility that we might be getting Unova remakes this year. They might finally be breaking the trend of a remake every 2 generations and 1 per system, and giving us a second remake on the Switch only 1 generation after the last one. like, even though you have to take those leaks with a grain of salt, Riddler Coup has a very good track record.
Mhm.
Saw something dumb on TikTok showing Pokemon Black Gold and White Silver, like some kind of double. Yeah, that does sound pretty dumb. I don't think Game Freak would combine the two into one game. Like, it really, even if we end up getting both, I still think we're getting Johto remakes this year. Because, you know, we got the hint in Detective Pikachu with the paintings being of Lugia and Ho-Oh, and literally having gold and silver in the names. And it is the 25th anniversary of when those games were first released. Like, it does make a lot of sense for us to be getting those games this year. The only sense I could see in making black and white remakes this year, and like, would be if they were just, you know, trying to get us to forget about the tragedy that was BDSP, and trying to be like, see, we can still make good remakes.
If we promise.
Trust us with your remakes.
Trust us with your money.
And yes, that was a Vox reference. Speaking of Giratina, you just found it in Dynamax Adventures? Like, you found it's shiny, or you just found the route? Because if so, I would like to join you for a route, because my game forgot the route for Giratina. And I'm very frustrated about it. Yeah, because I was doing it online with randoms, and the game was like, okay, do you want to save this? And it's like, but I already have it, so I pressed no, and it's like, okay, route gone. What?
And you were like, what?
Bye. Just the path? Well, let me know if you're gonna stream it, and I will join you. 'Cause I want it. I want my shiny Lord Giratina to bring with me on shiny hunts.
You need.
You need it. I want it. I need it.
Gimme. My precious.
And don't forget the strawberries. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to join in right now, but... That first line would have been perfect if I hadn't cut it so short. And I could have just extended it, but there we go. My brain was just going on autopilot. Meg put strawberries in the chat for Giratina. You lost it by a hair? Oh. Did you get any other shinies from it? Yeah, the reason I don't like doing Dynamax Adventures is just because of, you know, there's a lot in between each encounter. It's like, even though the odds are good, it takes so long to get to it, and you're not even guaranteed to be able to encounter it, because if you lose, well, tough luck, you're gonna have to try again. I was telling you about Giratina when you literally just saved the path. Ugh, that's annoying. I need to be logging into the game and talking to her more so I can try and get her to give me the path.
Give me the path.
I wanna hug Giratina! Don't care how I want it now. Applejack said I'll find Shiny Giratina eventually, but I don't want it eventually. I want it now! All in favor to sacrifice Peonia to Giratina. Hi, Neil. What is up, monkey butt? Okay. That looks good. Back to Moltres and BDSP. Good luck. Oh. Might change your Sunday stream to hunting Moltres. Well, I already know what we're doing on Sunday. I did that right, didn't I? Or is the pink supposed to be swapped with the blue? My keyboard's all the way over there. I don't feel like going to grab it. Is it pink, blue, white, blue, pink? Or is it blue, pink, white, pink, blue? That's bothering. It's like, I don't know if I did that right or not. That is right? Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, this is for Nixie. Oh my goodness, I forgot some lines up here. Your brain just forgot it's a brain for a second. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Wrong layer! Well, apparently mine's forgetting that too. So, we're in the same boat, Nixie. But that also means that you are free to give any criticism you want. Absolutely anything that sticks out to you. Alright, I'm just gonna grab Kitty Noir's colors. That is a good black. I'm in the boat, you're in the river. Yeah, well, the boat has quite a few holes in it, so I'm sure I'll see you soon. Really like the ears, though? I'm glad. That's also why I've been getting so hyper detailed on line thickness and stuff. It's because this is for you. Be far down the river by that point. You're gonna ask before you forget if I could edit a second image. Oh yeah, that's what I was. Oh yeah, I was going to do that. And I was also going to have your head tilted more, instead of this way, more this way when you're not talking. And also your arms were going to be a little bit more outwards. This is just the talking one. I was just doing this one first as a proof of concept before moving on to the other one. And then I remember you had blue eyes. Shoot. I did that. Okay. That, and then that's there. Oh my goodness. No, stop that. Stay on the color layer. This is why I'm in the boat. I don't know. I'm that boat has those holes are really starting to starting to take effect. I just put all that color on the wrong layer and messed up the lines that I did. And then I almost made the mistake a second time. We're both just losing brain cells tonight. I mean, can you really lose what you never had? Okay. So now... Okay. So, what I was kind of thinking as a possibility is adding, bit of a gradient, kind of like that. Actually, that doesn't look very good. So I was thinking it might add some visual interest. Maybe red would be better. So I'd still want it to stand out against your background. There could also be like tips on the ears. Would be another possibility. So what do you think? Fade or no, or just keep it black? You're wondering if the black and yellow should be swapped around? Okay, could try that. Let's unselect the choker. So like kind of like that. I'm just not too crazy about how that looks. About the shading, the shade itself. Maybe brighten it up a little bit. Why is it not picking up the color? Oh, right, because it's... pulling from there, that's why. I like grouse shiny color. Whoops. Wait, why is that deleting everything? That shouldn't be deleting everything. There. So we're thinking something like that. Of course, if that ends up being the case, then I'll need to change the button. I mean, I guess we could still keep it as a gold button. You like that? Okay. What do you think about the idea of a fade on the ears? Yay or nay? Button could be black too. Yeah, I don't think I'm thinking probably nay on the ears. You like the fade on the ears too? Well, I thought you said you didn't want the yellow on the inside of the ears, that you wanted the inside of the ears to be to stay pink. You like the fade more? Okay. I think it looks best keeping the choker black. Okay. I'm gonna lock that so that this layer, all I have to do is just click on it and it grabs the whole thing. Oh, I accidentally did the ears on the wrong layer. Oh well. Okay. I think that's about it for tonight. Let's see if we can find someone to raid. Calm is live. Chef is also live. Yeah, we haven't rated Calm in a while. Let's go for Calm and Collecting. He's shiny hunting right now. There it is. Alright, got set to the redirect. Also posting the link. hashtag. Sorry, it's taking a bit longer because I'm typing with my mouse. I need to add the shortcut. Alright, and I will see you over there. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. I'll see you over in Common Collecting stream. And as always, I hope you all